Welcome back, everyone, to our 2-minute drill. I'm your host, Gianna Forbis, here with Pack Pride editor Cory Smith. Cory, it's time for some women's basketball. They're supposed to make a big run in March. What do they have to do to lock up that number one seed and make it far in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, luckily for NC State, locking up the number 2 seed is much more favorable for them than being, the number 4 seed potentially and having to face Virginia Tech before even getting to the ACC Tournament championship game. The big thing for NC State right now is continue to play the way they just did the last 2 games at home. You go on the road to Greensboro, but we know that the NC State fans travel well. They've typically filled up Greensboro. They don't start until Friday against either Duke or Georgia Tech or Pitt. I'm expecting it to probably be against Duke, a team that actually did beat NC State earlier this season at Durham, whereas NC State beat them outright at home. So the big thing for NC State is the offense has to show up in a big way. It's still been a bit of a struggle. The Wake Forest game, they figured it out in the second half, scoring 51 points, but the offense hasn't always been there for NC State. It wasn't there against Duke. It wasn't there against UNC in those losses, and they struggled a little bit down the stretch against Syracuse, which is why that game went to overtime. So the offense needs to show up in the ACC tournament. They also just need to take care of business on the defensive end because this team has been one of the better defensive teams in the country. Duke was able to kind of pick them apart at times when they played them on the road. So in order for them to beat Duke and then go on a run to either play probably Florida State or Syracuse, 2 teams they've beaten so far this year, those 2 teams have some really big superstars. Tanaya Latson for Florida State, and then obviously Deasia Fair for Syracuse. You've got to shut those top players down in order to be able to make this run because, again, this is not only for the ACC championship and trying to finish with 4 out of the last 5 for NC State, but also, like you said, that potential number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, which gives you not only hosting duties as being a top 16 seed, but also potentially down the line being looked at as one of the teams that could be playing closer to home once the ACC or the NCAA tournament gets to that point.